Okay, what do you have for me? What
So,
else?
wondering, what is an LLC agreement? Operating agreement.
Sure. Okay. So what a lot of people do when they want to start a business, I'm wearing my business lawyer yarmulke now. You know, Woo. See the shift? Looks the same.
What is it called for people who don't know?
Oh, this is called a yarmulke.
Yarmulke.
It's spelled Y-A-R-M-U-L-K-E. That's a Yiddish word, and in Hebrew it's called a kippah, which means a dome. You know. But anyway, just But anyway, I didn't really.
It looks.
Yeah,
it looks
it's
good.
great if you got a little bald spot or something.
Love it.
I had a friend in law school, and he used to always say, he's like, I'm Jewish, I should have been religious, you know. He said only for the bald spot. You know?
Really?
That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
That's what he used to say, but he never got around to it. Maybe he has since. Okay, let's talk about you. Okay, so a lot of people they start you like that. So it's true. So true story. Okay, so I tell you a lot of funny true stories. So this guy, a lot of people they want to make a limited liability, entity. And well, let's first back up and understand why, okay? So what happens is this, in lawsuit land, let's say, I don't want to wish this on you, but let's say person X, who's sitting next to you over here, he's got a company, and he does some bad things to people, and people want to go after him and sue him, right? So if he's got money, and there's a verdict, a judgment against him, it can go to try to go after his personal stuff.
Right.
Now, let's say this happened while he was delivering a service. It was like like a dry cleaner, right? And he's a dry cleaner. And instead of suing, so now the person might be suing the business, because the business provided the service. Not Mike Smith provided the service, but the business provided the service. So the business provided the service. What might happen is the person will be suing, instead of Mike Smith or person X, will be suing that entity. Okay, fine. So that's how we do it. Now, you want to have what's called a limited liability entity, and there's different kinds. Limited liability means that if you lose, if in the suit, the effort to claim and recollect the funds, it's not going to Mike Smith, or person X.
To the entity.
It's only limited to them, right? So if they only have a small amount of assets, there's nothing more to sue.
In that case, what is the not the lender? What does the
Person suing.
Do?
What does the person suing do?
Yeah. I mean. So
the answer is there's almost nothing a person can do. So now, by the way, it's important to understand a limited liability entity. It's an LLC is not the only kind. There's other different kinds of corporate forms and structures that work, depending on if you have investors, you don't have investors, stock, different things like that. If a person wants to sue Facebook, you're not suing Mark Zuckerberg himself.
Right.
You're not going to get to Zucks. You know what I mean? It'll be Facebook. You know what I mean? Facebook. Okay. So now what happens is this. So that's important to understand now. But just because you make an LLC, it's not magic. People think you get a lawyer to do it, or you go on LegalZoom and everything's done, It's not. Because there's a lot of things you have to keep. And we were speaking about this before, in order for the LLC to function as a good shield. It's like in Star Wars, I saw when I was a kid, it became popular again. But when I was a kid, that Star Wars, there's the Death Star, but maybe the shield is down and you could go and shoot it and attack it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So just because you have an LLC, it's not magic. The shield could be down, right? And there's a lot of things a person could do to have the LLC not have effectiveness. One of the ways it won't have effectiveness is if a person basically uses it as basically a substitute for who they are. So let's say you have an LLC and you use it to pay your personal grocery bills, and you use your LLC to pay your rent, okay? And the lease and your staff and everything else.
My God. So
basically what happens is the LLC is you. Come on.
Right.
Come on, Carlos. We know that LLC is you. Come on.
How'd you find out?
Come on, we know it's you. Because your LLC was running its credit card at Taco Bell. You know what I mean? The business needed it for the Taco Bell lunch expense. Come on. That was you. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that there's a doctrine in business law and in litigation we call piercing the corporate veil. Piercing, to pop a hole in it, the corporate veil. Basically, there's a lot of rules in each state and factors that the courts look to. But basically, in short, if you're using the LLC as just an extension of you, come on, that's not an LLC. That's just something you're paying to the Secretary of State once a year. Come on, you know. So then we can go after a person's personal funds directly. Okay. Now back to this LLC operating agreement. See, I'm your one-stop shop. We got business law, marketing, Judaism, sales, business law. We got
loaded.
Yeah, we're fully loaded. Toothbrush, gold watch, whatever you want, right? But so LLC operating agreement, basically, some states require you to have one by the legislature, and others say it's, you know, a good idea or advisable. Basically, it's a piece of paper that says how the LLC operates internally. Okay, how it operates internally. So let's say now if it's a single member LLC, it's less complicated. But let's say you have something like you guys do, like where you have 3 owners or 3 partners. So like, how do you make a decision? Let's say you guys want to take on a project. Do you all vote? As long as one of you wants to do a project, you proceed? Does it have to be a 2-to-1?
Right.
Is it only either we're all
That's
three?
interesting. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, you know, but so it's not right or wrong, but the LLC operating agreement dictates how do you do it. Let's say you get some equity and you're like, you know what, this has been fun, y'all, but like I want to, like, I'll sell, I want to sell my share and I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm moving, I'm getting married, whatever else, right? That's great. So how do we do that? How do you basically divest your share? How do you give it up? Do you have to first offer it to them? How do you set the price for it?
Right.
Or if you want to sell it to Rabbi Bregman, I'm like, you know, I'll give you 3x. And they're like, no, we'll give you X. It's not worth more than X. You know what I mean? Can you come to me and basically flip it, you know,
right.
at that, or do you have to sell it back to them? You know, right? How do you add people to the business? What if you want to add on investors? What are the criteria? There's so many factors, right?
Yes.
Are you all personally responsible and liable for each other's actions in connection with the business? So, I mean, I can go on for 25 pages of Times New Roman 12 point, you know, on how this goes. But these are all the kind of things that, especially if you have an LLC or any structure with other people involved, should get clear, because it's a lot easier to make these decisions now when there isn't necessarily a lot of money in the pot,
Right.
and there's nothing to fight about, you know? When I was in law school, one of the first days in a trust and estates class, the professor wrote on the board an equation, like on a dry erase board with a marker. He says, money plus family plus death equals litigation, a lawsuit. If there's money, and then there's family and somebody died, there's going to be a litigation, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm just saying is, you know, but in the similar kind of way, you have your partners, and there's money and assets and agreements on how it operates.
Something's going down.
You know, look, eventually, so it's a lot easier. But I know some businessmen came to me, and they created an LLC, and they were going to buy properties, you know, and they had actually already bought $1.9 million of properties and had no understanding, verbal or written, amongst them, how decisions will be made.
How many partners were there?
2. So anyway, so they're like, so what does everybody say? Oh, it's all good, we're friends, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Yeah, there's a lot of cases in court. People started out as, friends like that. Yeah. So I'm like, but they cut $1.9 million between them, you know, 50 per each way, and bought properties with no understanding even how decisions will be made.
What happened in that case?
I don't know. I just told them that they needed to come back and make an LLC operating agreement, and and they didn't come back. I don't know. I don't know. God bless them. Maybe
so
they're good.
Were they operating just as individuals?
I don't know what they were doing. I mean, I guess they were going to buy properties and sell properties and own them, you know, as under the LLC. But all I'm just saying is they're eventually going to have a dispute and a disagreement. Look, you can have friends and you could disagree. You can have a wife and you disagree. A husband.
You can have a dog you disagree.
Yeah, that's right. He wants to go out and you say it's freezing. You know?
It's different.
So I'm saying there's going to be an issue. So I would just say it's a lot better to speak out these issues in advance instead of later hoping that nothing will come up. Because let me just take a step back, okay? When in business, and this is just general business advice, if you're making a contract, a written contract in agreement with someone, sometimes people have a mentality and an attitude, and they'll say, you know what, I don't want to bring up all these things, all these what ifs. I'm going to scare them off, yeah? They're not going to want to do business with me. You know what I say? Better you put it all out on the table now, and that they don't do the deal with you, then you hide, what could happen and all these things you're afraid of talking about. If you can't discuss with your new business partner what if because you think the deal's going to go bad, well, that already is telling you don't have a great communication, right? I would rather lose the potential client or partner or prospect. I would rather lose them, and because I got everything out on the table, all the terms, than have everything come back on me later. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Good.
So it's all about protecting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to be user friendly to the marketplace.
Yeah, correct.
But anytime you've done something for a while, you realize the kind of thing that goes wrong.
You learn by trials and error, by experiences. And,
yeah. But I know human beings will eventually butt heads with each other. So you might as well memorialize it on paper.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're battering rams. We bump heads.
Right?
Good.
Yeah.
Would you recommend getting investors into a startup generally? And if so, at what point during the startup's life would you recommend, maybe now we could start looking into investors?
Sure. So I would just say this in general, because there's different kind of things. If a person's trying to make a Facebook, or you're just trying to get a smaller company off the ground, here's what I would say in general. And this is very, very good advice, okay? If you can I would say do anything you can, in most cases early on, to avoid taking money from investors. It's very simple. Why does the average person that I know go to try to raise money from investors? The answer is that they haven't been able yet to generate sales and get interest from the marketplace, so they're trying to put some gas in the tank to keep this thing alive and buy themselves time before their dream dies. It's not every case, that's in a lot of cases. I would say, and certainly in your kind of business, there's no need for that at an early stage. I would go to the marketplace and look for what we call proof of concept. Or do you ever see Shark Tank?
Yes, yeah.
What did they first ask you in the beginning? First thing, what are your sales? How many sales you have? How many sold?
Yeah.
Have you sold anything? How many units? What did it cost? The basic point is this, and this is the real truth, and it brings full circle other things we spoke about. Are you good? And I don't mean you. I mean you, but I don't mean you. I mean the general you, right? Are you good at what you do? Are there human beings that are interested in trading money for your good or service? Okay? Are you that good? If you are, they will give you money in exchange for your product or service if they're aware of it and you can articulate what it is and it makes sense. If you can fix people's problems, you can do it at a profit, right? And that's called being in business, right? Fixing people's problems and issues at a profit, a way that's profit for you with margin, that's business, man. So I would just say this. I've seen a lot of people want to get things off the ground and they immediately try to raise money. The reason is they don't have sales, they don't understand selling, and they don't know how to go do it. Now a person could have an app. There's a point at which Twitters and Facebooks and Ubers and all these things try to raise money further on to basically get to scale.
They've got somewhere.
Yeah, but I'm saying to get to scale. But to me the ultimate is because if a person can't, in my view, get customers, clients, you can't get to 10. It could take time, and I'm not saying in a week. But if you can't get to at least 10 people to trade you money for your product or service, maybe you have something that nobody's interested in, or maybe you're just not
cut up for.
Yeah, for that, right? If I wanted to be, I don't know, if I wanted to say, you know what, I'm going to go join the NBA. All 5'11" of me, right? I'm going to go join the NBA. But I don't know, nobody signed me yet, but it's cool. I'm going to get an investor. And they're going to invest in, no amount of money, if I can't get, based on my skills or lack thereof.
You can't give result. Then.
Yeah, and get some kind of traction in the marketplace, you know. And the other thing is, once you take money, you're giving away pieces of the company.
Right.
You know what I mean? That makes it much harder. So I would say, in your case, you know, it's not like you developed a Facebook and you're at 100 universities and now that's how it started. You want to get to the next level, or you made Waze, you know, or something, and you want to break the, you know, on another level. But when you're just starting, I wouldn't take money. I wouldn't take money even if it's offered to you, because at the end of the day, if you can't get sales, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Same as restaurants, same as the dry cleaner, same as if you sell matchmaking packages, you know, same as if you're an attorney, right? If you can't ultimately get people to trade money for your good or service, you're just not going to make it in that, and that's what it kind of is, you know. That's how I would advise you. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It was valuable. I'm just trying to save you heartache.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So that was it for today, and thank you, Shlomo.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay,
it was nice.
I hope you all had a lot of value from the session we did over here. If I could be of further help to you in business, marketing, sales, social media, business law, or just as Rabbi Bregman wearing that hat of mine, let me know. You know how to find me across social media and everywhere else. Shlomo Zalman Bregman. We're at Rabbi Bregman on all the platforms. RabbiBregman.com, across all of them. You know where to find me. Good people over here. We'd love to help you, okay? Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.